Yokoso. It gives me such great pleasure to welcome you here today to the opening of the 20th ASSITEJ World Congress and Performing Arts Festival, MIRAI. I'm speaking to you from the stage of the Baxter Theatre Centre, where we hosted the opening ceremony of the 19th ASSITEJ World Congress and Performing Arts Festival, Cradle of Creativity, in Cape Town in 2017. And now, nearly 4 years later, we meet together again, albeit with the theatre empty, waiting for the return of its audiences. I wish that I could be welcoming you to the theatre in Tokyo, as was planned, and that you had all winged your way across the world to join us. That form of meeting is what we've known in Cape Town, Warsaw, Copenhagen, Malmö, Adelaide, Seoul, Tromsø, Rostov-on-Dam, Havana, Stockholm, and all the way back to Paris in 1965. Instead, today we are separated by oceans and time zones, by borders and regulations, by current contexts, and by personal circumstances. But all of us have the power of imagination. And that imagination is at the heart of every creative act we produce, every project we propose, and every engagement with our audience. I ask you now to exercise that imagination, to feel the collective embrace of the global ASSITEJ body as we virtually hold hands across the world. We are together. And perhaps we are coming together from places that would never have had the opportunity to host an ASSITEJ World Congress, or from places that have never been able to participate before. And you are so welcome. I ask you to engage here with the energy that you would have brought to the physical encounter, with your whole self. Bring yourself to this virtual sharing. It will not be the same, but it will still be a time to connect, to reflect, to engage, to listen, to watch, to debate, to enjoy, to play, to learn, and to celebrate. We are deeply grateful to our physical hosts, ASSITEJ Japan, their chairperson, Mr. Morita, and Secretary General Kentaro Miyamoto, and their Congress team, led by Mr. Shimoyama and Ms. Morimoto and Mr. Tanabe. They have given so much, and they have continued to work for another year so that we can have this period of togetherness here in this way at this time. They are making magic happen on the ground in Tokyo and Nagano for the children and young people of Japan, and their dedication, hard work, and resoluteness is to be celebrated. They have stood firm despite many challenges, and they have stood together to create this important event so that you and I can share it all in the days to come. Arigato gozaimasu. I want to pay tribute to Mr. Fujita, who served on the ASSITEJ Executive Committee for many years, and who brought this dream of holding the World Congress in Japan to the ASSITEJ community. His vision led us here. I pay tribute also to the former ASSITEJ Japan president, Mr. Fumi Naki, who passed away before he could see his hopes for this day realized. I'm sure that he is smiling on us all today. We also thank the sponsors who have allowed the physical event to go ahead even in a time of pandemic, to ensure that Japan's Theatre for Young Audiences community of artists can meet the world, and that the world can meet them, and that the children and young people of Japan are able to experience the healing power of the arts. Arigato gozaimasu. We are also hugely grateful to the ASSITEJ Executive Committee, who have worked almost a year longer than they had anticipated, and at a demanding pace, to ensure that we are able to meet online as an organization. It's been fraught with challenges, but every single person has put in more than their fair share of time and energy. And in particular, I want to celebrate our Secretary General, Luis Valente, who's been crucial to the realization of these events, and Kenjiro Otani, who's been the liaison for much of the work that has happened and who's been crucial to the communications between the parties. To both of you and to all of you, arigato gozaimasu. We are very grateful indeed to our delivery partners, without whom this would not be possible. The team from Performing Dialogue and from the National Arts Festival of South Africa have brought more than their professionalism and ingenuity to bear on what we will be experiencing over the next few days. They have worked against the clock, and yet they have also brought their humanity, their humor, and their generosity, and they have been wonderful allies to work with. Arigato gozaimasu. This process of adapting a Congress to a blended format, being both on the ground and online, has made us question very deeply what it is that we hope to achieve from an event of this nature, the cornerstone meeting of our organization. Yes, there are many practical and administrative aspects of a World Congress, including, of course, sharing, interrogating, and celebrating the work that has been done in the previous period, and electing a leadership for the period to come. But most of all, this gathering is about bringing together the cells of ASSITEJ into one body. It is about connection, first and foremost. And it is about the joy and inspiration that that connection can bring for the practitioners who work so hard and often against so many obstacles to ensure that children and young people have access to the theatre and to performing arts in their many varied contexts in all parts of the globe. This is what we all care deeply about. And so, as we use the power of our imaginations to feel united, to hold hands across the globe, let us also use our imaginations to envision the possibilities for that future into which we are all walking together. For indeed, it is an unknown future, and we seek not to repeat the mistakes of the past, but rather to nurture the possibilities that will ensure that we feed and enrich the minds and hearts, the bodies and spirits of our artists, and indeed of our audiences. So welcome to the ASSITEJ 20th World Congress. Arigato gozaimasu.